Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel Living in Canada. It's December now, almost end of December, and I'm outside and you can see there's a lot of snow out here. It has been snowing yesterday and the lake, as you can see, is quite frozen. But it hasn't been snowing today, and that's why some of the snow has already melted. But anyway, just to give you a very short glimpse of what winter is like in Canada, in case you are thinking of moving over here. So this is how it's like in December. It's super cold, but it's at the same time it's also very, very beautiful. So let's get straight to the point now, and let's answer the question of whether or not you can still immigrate to Canada in your 30s, in your early 30s, late 30s, or even later. And the simple and fast answer is absolutely yes. And the proof is that I and my husband, the both of us, we moved to Canada when we were already in our 30s. So we were not in our early 20s or 18 years old. I mean, there are a lot of people who move here who just graduated high school and they started studying here and everything. But in our case, we were already adults and we already had careers. We already had a life and a house in our home country, in Indonesia, in Jakarta. But then we decided that we as a family, we wanted to start a new life. We wanted to move to Canada, and we planned everything in relatively short time. So it happened, the core phase of our planning, from applying to schools, selecting schools, and moving over here, getting a visa and everything, it took less than 6 months. So it happened very fast. And it wasn't easy in the beginning. I mean, especially for people who are already more mature, who already have some life experiences. They have an advantage in a sense that they have those skills, they have that life experiences, etc. They have a lot of valuable soft skills, interpersonal skills and everything. But there's also a kind of a weakness or a downside, which is that older people sometimes have a bit more fear. They are less willing to take risks because they think that when they're in their 30s, 40s, or even 50s, it's time to settle down. It's not time to make a very big life change, right? But the point of this video, what I want to tell you is that it's never too late. Although you are now already in your 30s, 40s, or even in your 50s, there is still a possibility to move to Canada. Although, of course, the older you get, the more difficult it will get, simply for the reason that if you plan to come here and get a PR, a permanent residence, then one of the main things that will happen is that you will get a score assigned, which is a CRS score, which is a comprehensive ranking score based on a number of factors, including your education, your experience, the languages that you can speak, etc. And one of the main points one of the main factors that goes into that score is your age. So the older you are, even though you're just 1 year older, 2 years older, you will get less points for that factor, for the age factor. So you will have a very big advantage if you come here when you are younger. It will be easier for you to get your permanent residence and everything. But still, like I said, it is not impossible. So we moved over here in our 30s, and we have a lot of friends who also moved to Canada in their mid-30s, late 30s. And I even also have a friend who is already in his early 40s. He moved over here and he studied in a postgraduate certificate program for 1 year. And after he graduated, he worked as an employee for a while, and he even ended up starting his own business. Although not in Toronto, he actually moved outside of Toronto. So there are many ways that it can work, but you have to be willing to make sacrifices, and you have to put in a lot of effort, and you have to have the patience, because especially in the beginning, in the first 1, 2 to 3 years, especially 3 years, it can be very difficult because you have to adjust to a new country, to the weather, to the language, to the people. You have to focus on your studies. If you're studying, you have to try and get a job. There are so many things to get used to, and at the same time, you also have to manage your finances. Everything is so expensive, and you will need to tap into your savings. You have to try to earn more money and start building assets and so on. So there are a lot of challenges and a lot of struggles in the beginning, but it's nothing that you can't do, especially if you come over here as a family, as a couple. Then of course you will already have brought with you a support system. So that's all that I got for you today. My main point is just that if you want to come here to Canada, even though you're already in your 30s, your 40s, do not be discouraged, do not be afraid, because it can totally work out for you if you set your mind to it, and I really hope for you that it can happen for you in this coming year. So wishing you all the best, a lot of love from Canada, Toronto, and I'll see you in the next video.